All right, folks. All right, folks. Welcome back to the channel. All right. And welcome to my new project. And this is Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Now, if you guys didn't know, it was announced just the other day that Dragon's Dogma 2 was finally in development. And that's something that almost drove me to tears. I was so happy to see that this game is finally getting a sequel. And I decided I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something to commemorate it. I'm going to do something to hopefully motivate people to support this game and to get excited for Dragon Dogma 2. So what this is going to be is not an LP. I've played this game several times. Cleared it several times since PS3, PS4, and this here now on the PS5. And I know the story in and out. I know the quest in and out. And I'm not gonna go through it. I just bore myself to death. What I do want to do though is just showcase the game. Showcase some very powerful pawns that I found and just walk through Grancis one place at a time, one dungeon at a time, culminating in the Bitter Black Isle and beating that boss there, which I haven't done. Now, I've played through the game, the base game, several times, and I've been into Bitter Black Isle several times, but I've never beaten the boss of Bitter Black Isle. And in fact, if you didn't know, you have to beat that boss twice in order to actually clear Bitter Black Isle. And I've never done that. So there's still some stuff I haven't done in the game, despite me clearing it, the base game, several times over. So what I'm going to do today is, first of all, I'm going to go in the rift over here, and I'm going to pick out my pawns. Now, I already know who I'm going to get. I just kind of wanted to go through this process just to kind of show people how it works and what I looked for when I found these guys. All right, so my character is a yellow character. She uses a bow, she uses daggers. And so I didn't want to pick another character just like her. But I did need a character to kind of scout for me. And that also like to climb, because I don't like to climb with my character. So if I was going to pick a character just like mine, it would probably be a ranger. Even though my character is an assassin, she doesn't climb. So my character actually is used more like a ranger. So I don't want a ranger, but a strider that climbs and that skirmishes out in the field. Well, that's big. That's a little bit different. Now, the one I'm going to summon here is one I've had several times before. It's my favorite strider pawn in the game, hands down. And that's Yoruporu's Keto Nugget. It'll take a moment to arrive. You see he's quite tall. He's pretty big, so he can carry a lot of weight. All of these are bonuses for the way that I like to play Dragon's Dogma along with these pawns. All right. You can see he's got in-game gear here. His selection of skills, as you can see, he's not maxed out. That the secondary skills, there's one left over. That's to help him use these two skills more often. These are his bow skills here. Since there's not a third one, he'll use these two more often than if you have one there that you don't really care for him to use. The person who made this as character decided and discovered that these two skills are some of the most effective for their pawn, and so those are the only two that they gave him. These augments down here: Bastion, Aggression, Sinew, Vehemence, Clout, and Adhesion. So Adhesion, he's built to climb. I told you I wanted a climber. Adhesion's built, that helps their that makes it so that your pawn is more likely to climb. Clout and Vehemence are just damage buffs. That gives them damage. Sinew helps them carry more, which is good for my style of play because I like to give all of my pawns items to use during their adventure. Aggression, because he's out there scouting, and if you don't know what man-eaters are, they sometimes ambush your characters, your pawns, when they're out there trying to open treasure. And so the person who made this character was just smart. All right, because this guy's going to be out there scouting for me, and the reason why he's going to be out there scouting, let's see, is because of this profile right here. You see, this primary inclination is Pioneer. His secondary is Scather. Both of these inclinations make it so that your pawn will go out and do things out in front of the Arisen. It would make it so that the pawn will explore far away, pick up items, and basically be ready to fight on his own until you can get there. So he's essentially a scout. That's what Pioneer inclination is. He's essentially a scout. And that's exactly what I wanted.
Yes, Arisen. I am honored to travel with you.
Now my pawn is a fighter. So now we have my character, which is basically like a ranger. I have Keto, who's basically like a scout, and my pawn, which is basically like a tank. So I needed some magic. And the pawn I finally settled for, after much experimentation with different pawns, was Gemma-Lady's Arwen. If you don't know who Gemma-Lady is, then you're just not a you're definitely not a Dragon's Dogma veteran, because Gemma-Lady's been around for a long time, and most people who know Dragon's Dogma know who Gemma-Lady is.
Yes, Arisen.
Now, one thing that stood out about Arwen to me, and what I was looking for, is first of all, she needs to have something that's fast. A lot of these guys, they put out their sorcerers, and all they have is super high cost, long casting bombs, and that makes their pawn ineffective because they don't have anything to cast against goblins and stuff, you know. So high angle is something that I always look for. It's a basic fire spell. Just shoot some fire projectiles. It's quick. It's fast. Probably one of the fastest spells they've got. I always look for this in any of my caster pawns, be it a sorcerer or a mage. All right. Holy Affinity helps the whole team out. All right. This is the buff that buffs your weapons, and Holy, which is what this one is, Holy Affinity, is probably the best one for the job. It's the one that's going to hit most of the enemy weaknesses. So it's good to have that one. She's got high fulmination. Now, I actually kind of like Levin here, but the thing about it is what I was looking for is for, first of all, to have all three main elements: fire, thunder, and ice. And R1 has them. That's the most important thing. That means that she's going to be able to help out against any enemy pretty much uh, according to their weakness. And as long as she's been trained well, she's going to know what to do. All right. High Miasma is a general purpose fast casting poison spell. All right. This is one of my favorite spells of the game. It's good against humans. It's good against a lot of stuff. It's probably not too good against undead and things like that. But because it's so fast, and so cheap to cast, it lasts and does a lot of damage. It's just a good general purpose damage spell to have instead of having something that's geared towards a specific resistance like ice or fire or something. All right. Her big bomb spell is High Bolite. It's another big fire spell. She probably could have picked something else here, but hey, this works. I need one big high-powered spell, and she's got it. What you usually see here on a sorcerer is they'll have some kind of, I forgot what the spell's called, but it's a spell that, let's see. See if I can find a sorcerer here.
Yes, Arisen.
Void spell. This is a stupid spell to put on a sorcerer. All right. And the reason being is you can do what this spell does. You can give your pawns this functionality by just giving them a few potions. Instead, what you see, and you see this in the Rift all the time, is everybody outfits their sorcerer pawn with void spell. Like, oh, this is what you do. This is what you do. You sniff everybody's ass and follow the leader and put void spell on you. It takes up one of their slots, and that's not what they're good at. That's not what sorcerers are good. Sorcerers are good at blowing stuff up.
Yes,
All right.
Arisen. If you should ever need anything else, do not hesitate.
This is one of the few sorcerers I found that doesn't have void spell.
I am honored to travel with you.
In addition to that,
Is everything in order, Master?
you can see that her inclinations are kind of different than everybody else's. But Challenger and Nexus are two good skills to have instead of what you usually see, which is Scather. A Scather sorcerer is not good. All right. They'll run out there, they'll try to get too close to the enemy, and then they'll start trying to cast, and then they'll get interrupted. They'll get interrupted, or they'll stop because they're too close. They got to run back now. Challenger is a skill that makes them try to fire from further away. It basically makes them, it's an inclination that makes them think ranged first. So she's a ranged character, so she stays at range, which is what she needs to do. Scathers run up
Is everything in order, Master?
and try to fight things in their face, and it's stupid. All right. And that's my team. Those are my 2 hired pawns. And these are the ones I'm going to have. You can see Keto already running off. See, that's what he does. You see, he's already running off, picking up stuff. He's a scout. He's going to pick up almost everything, even when I can't see stuff. Keto will try to find it. Arwen's going to stay close to me, and my pawn, which I'm about to show you now, is a Scather Mitigator. The important thing here is Scather, all right? And the reason why is because she'll walk out in front of me, and she'll try to take on the strongest enemy out there, which is what I want my tank doing. I don't necessarily need my tank to be able to defeat the strongest enemy, but I need her to occupy him, all right, while we take care of everything else, all right. That's my job in the group, is to take out the small stuff as quickly as possible. It's her job to occupy the stronger enemies, and Arwen just helps out where necessary. Keto, he usually takes on some of the strongest monsters or enemies along with Lady Ladonna, but he's all over the place, man. That guy's like a one-man army sometimes. I love Keto Nugget. All right. So my pawn's got some semi-in-game gear. She's not totally decked out. These two here, Arwen and Keto, they're in total in-game gear here. All right. And I'm going to keep them that way. Oftentimes when I rent pawns and they're more powerful than I need them to be,
Well, hello.
I'll handicap them with weapons of my own. But I'm going to leave those guys as is for now.
World, it seems. Do they truly mean to blame you for the chasm fresh out? Madness. It's easy. What can I do you for?
All right, now what I'm about to do here
As you will.
is I'm going to outfit my pawns. All right. Now, as I told you,
As you will.
I outfit all my pawns. You can see Lady Ladonna's weight over there. She's pretty heavy, right? This is because I give her a bunch of stuff. And I do this with all of my pawns so that they can heal themselves, be prepared to recover them for themselves and things like that without sitting out there, you know, just debuffed to death and everything else with no way to recover. I mean, to me, I hate that, dude. See, I got some extra stuff here I don't need. That's one thing about this game you're going to have to deal with if you play this game, and that's a lot of inventory management. If inventory management is not your thing, you're not going to have much fun with this game. All right. So let's see here. If I can remember what they all need.
As you will.
We'll start out with some King Warish. 5 of those each. Spring Water. This is for Arwen. She's basically our group healer, and she heals through items. Since she doesn't have any healing spells, sorcerers don't get healing spells. She's got to heal some other way. So that's the only way she gets to do it. Here were a few of these. Actually, everybody will get a few of these. I usually give a couple of these to Lady Ladonna. She can't use them because pawns don't use everything. But I usually have her carry them for when I need them. But we're not going to be using those just yet because the stuff we're going to be fighting here at the very beginning doesn't really call for it. So we're not going to be using those yet. Everybody gets one of these just because they don't really use them, but now this is why I like all of my pawns to have sending, because they're all going to be carrying heavy stuff. Arwen's going to get weighed down more than the others by quite a bit. Comparatively, because I consider her my healer, so. Get some Mithridate on these guys for poison. Nightcry is for my character. They don't use that. At least I don't think they do. Bottled haste. Let's see. I think I decided that they could use something else for that. Alright. She gets these for sure, since she's the caster. A couple of those. Everybody gets a couple of these. Now, as you see how long this has taken me, I purposely got rid of these pawns so I could show you this process. But to me, this is kind of an oversight that the developers didn't account for, is when you have to do stuff like this. Because when these pawns die, you know, if they're taken by the brine or something, which happens, you have to come back here and outfit them all over again in order to get them ready to go. With your own pawn, it doesn't happen, because when she comes back, when you go get her from the rift again, she'll just have all of her stuff. But these other pawns, since they're technically not yours, when they everybody gets a couple of these. When they get killed or something, everybody gets a lantern. Then you have to come back here and do this whole process again. And as you can see, it can really take a long time. Let's see. Yeah, they can't carry that. Over time, they'll pick up a few of these things, and I usually let them keep them. Let's see, Keto, I usually give a bunch of arrows. We'll start them off with just a few of them right here. When we go to bitter black, I'll give everybody some blast arrows and stuff because they're useful down there. I'll give Keto a few of these. And I'm actually not going to give him any blast arrows right now. No need to give him a maker's finger. Alright, everybody gets some of these. The really good ones to have on your pawns are these monk periops. And you see, these things are pretty heavy, but they're basically cure-alls, and so just in case they ever get in any real trouble, they can just use those. Now, here's a tradition of mine. I just give everybody, what is it? Some Forgotten Arcanum. These actually heal you if you take them. Your pawns won't use them, but it's just something I always do. Everybody also gets an Arisen's Bond. This is a tradition of mine. I don't think it really does anything, but they get one anyway. Let's see here. Arwen gets my Worm King's Ring. That basically helps her cast spells faster. Everybody gets one of these. A Wake Stone. And a Wake Stone Shard. Keto gets Skeleton Keys. He's my backup thief. And Keto also holds that, I think. He's supposed to hold that. Yep. Everybody gets one of these. Those are supposed to bring you good luck. Don't know how effective they are. There's a bunch of theories about how effective they are or are not. But everybody gets one nonetheless. All right. Barbed nails. All right, let's see how they're looking.
As you will.
Let's see how they're looking. Now, I probably forgot something, you know. There's a lot of stuff to give all of these characters. Let's see, I've got that there. I think I can put that back. Don't need that weighing me down. That looks good.
As you will.
Put these rings on them. Let's see. So here's the deal with this.
care now.
These characters, their masters, their arisen will always put usually like a master's ring or something on there, and these are just, as you can see, they're just kind of, you know, they boost some strength and stuff, but they're not, to me, they're not as worth as much as something like barbed nails. All right. This gives her more health and stamina. You know, so I'll leave this one on her. If I can find a ring that doesn't look like it does too much, I'll replace it with a barbed nails, and this is why.
There are some, but you... What can I do you for? As you will.
Fighting as with the party as a whole, it's more important for us to all build up stagger and knockdown instead of just having individual strength. So all of my characters use these. LaDonna has one, I have one. We all use these, and what it does is it helps to build up the stagger and knockout as a team so that you get more of them together.
What can I do you for?
That's my theory, at least, and
Take care now.
that's what I'm sticking with. Does it actually work that way? I don't know, but that's my reasoning. That's my theory, and my teams usually do pretty good, so that's what I'm sticking with. As you can see here, just wanted to show you, I always play in the hard mode. That's never going to change. All right. And the reason why I'm even bringing that up is because I've seen a lot of people on game facts and stuff like that sometimes on Reddit say that the pawns just aren't very good. Well, the pawns are good, even on hard, as long as you have them, as long as you've picked them out right, as long as you use the right ones. Not all pawns are created equal. Some of these pawns out there, the people who were playing with them, they just didn't care. I mean, they just don't care what their how their pawns are raised. They don't understand the system, and the pawns that you find in there sometimes just aren't very good. But you're going to see that these pawns I have here are actually very effective. They work very well, as you can see Keto out there doing a scout thing. And you know, so I'm a player that really likes group-oriented RPGs. All right, and to me,
Seems a fair place to rest.
this is the best single-player group-oriented RPG out there because the AI is so good. When I was listening to the developers talk the other day, they actually said that the AI could have even been smarter if they wanted to. A lot of people don't think the AI is very good, but that's because they're not playing with pawns that were built properly. These pawns right here make it so that my job is easy, you know, for the most part.
There are some who... But you...
Everyday encounters, these guys can wipe them up by themselves pretty much. So, you know, and I don't like to be walking around everywhere, having to do all the work myself. The pawns pretty much take care of it, all right?
As you will.
So the last thing I'm going to do today, or in this episode, before I start another video, shut this video off and start another video, is show you how I keep my pawn with the inclinations I want. And show you how easy it is to keep keep them in line, really.
As you will. What can I do you for?
Now,
Take care now.
a lot of people don't like Nexus. It's kind of gotten a bad rep. But as long as it's not the main inclination of your pawn, it actually usually does some good. And in my opinion, as you can see here with Arwen, that's actually her secondary is Nexus. And as you'll be able to see, she performs just fine. Uh, I don't know what she has as a tertiary. I mean, because usually when you make these pawns, people who care about their pawns know that there's usually three that you think of that you want your pawn to have. You have your primary, your secondary, and then there's a tertiary one that you don't really get to see. All right. So with my pawn here, I just took some potions out of the storage, and what I'm about to do here now is feed them to my pawn in the order I want to make sure I get them to come out right. So if you see her now, she's got Scather, Mitigator, and down below Mitigator is going to be Nexus. All right. So this is how you're going to get them where you want them. All right. You feed them the one that you want at the bottom first. All right. That's the one you want. That's when you feed them first. The one you want at the bottom. So if I give her two of these Nexus, I'm gonna show you what happens. I'm gonna give her two of these Nexuses. Now, if you look at her status now, Nexus is her primary. All right, Scatter's been pushed down, and Nexus is her primary. All right, now I'm gonna feed her the next two. You see her now, it's Mitigator Nexus. All right. Now, remember, I started out with Scather Mitigator. This is how I want them ordered. I want Scather, Mitigator, Nexus. All right. You gotta. I'm fat finger because of some of this stuff because I haven't played this in a while. Now, instead of just giving her two on this one, I actually want this one solidified at the top. And I want to make sure that the other ones get pushed down a little bit from this one at the top. So I give her a third one. And as you can see now, it's back where it started. Scather, Mitigator, and Nexus is underneath there as the tertiary. That's exactly what I want. To solidify it even more, I'm going to sit her down and talk to her.
Do you favor a pawn who first targets the weakest prey, or one who aids their fellow pawns?
Now I'm going to choose Mitigator here. So Nexus is right underneath the Mitigator. All right. I want to choose Mitigator here to make sure Mitigator gets solidified right there.
Understood. I shall ever aim for the weakest in a group, with the aim of quickly shrinking the enemy's numbers. I try to speak or remain silent as the situation demands. Would you have me continue in this way, Master? As you wish. I will attempt to be more talkative from now on.
I like my pawn to talk, so I always pick that. As over time, the speech rate goes down if you don't keep sitting them down in this chair.
Should I have the chance to aid you in times of need, how would you have me voice it? It shall be done.
My pawn's arrogant.
My all is yours to shape, master. Should I suffer a deadly blow, how shall I voice my anguish?
That's how I like her.
All right.
All right. And now, I probably forgot something like I said, but we're pretty much ready to go on an adventure. All right. Let's see. Let's see if you're looking at their weight right here. So I probably missed something because usually they're all in average, like LaDonna. So Keto and Arwen are probably missing something. I'll figure that out in time as we keep playing. But as you can see, that sinew augment that I have on all of them. Well, that reminds me, I didn't show you guys Arwen's skills. So she's got articulacy to help her cast faster. These are all things I wanted. These are all things I wanted in a sorcerer. You know, it's hard to sometimes find exactly what you're looking for in the Rift, and Arwen just happened to be it. She's my favorite sorcerer by far, and Keto Nugget is my favorite Strider by far. All right. So boost to her magic, even more boost to her magic. This helps keep her on her feet. This helps her conserve some of her stamina, and then extra carry weight. Everything that I was looking for. You know, she could have had perpetuity or something like that, or something that keeps your some of the buffs on longer. But if you look at her equipment and some of the buffs she has on this stuff, this gives her extra health there. Oh, I probably do that. If you see, look in her description over there to the left, you can see that gives her some health regen there. That doesn't do anything. This restores stamina when she gets a killing blow. Could have had something different there, but that's fine. This is the one I really care about, is she has even more item carrying capacity in addition to the sinew. That doesn't do anything. So she has everything I want. You know, everything you can hope for pretty much, unless you actually have somebody like say, hey man, I want you to configure your pawn exactly how I want them. You know, short of doing that, she's everything I'm looking for in a sorcerer pawn. You know. Let's see. This is Keto Nugget's probably pretty much the same way. If you look at his boots, see there, more maximum item carrying capacity. This is very important if you want to outfit your pawns like I do with items, so that they can carry stuff and aren't just totally bogged down. Because we're going to be picking up stuff along the way. They've got to have the carry weight to help out and carry and pull their weight. My character, my pawn, just so you can see. I'm going to show you something here. See these shield skills? Now everybody says, well not everybody, but a lot of people say that if you put secondary shield skills on your fighter pawn, she won't perfect block anymore. Well, that's true and not true. There's certain skills that will cause them to lose their ability to perfect block, but these three aren't them. All right, and I'm going to show you that straight up. Actually, she actually seems like she can cancel some of these when she wants to and get her perfect block to come out. So it is true that some of these skills make it so that your fighter will stop perfect blocking, but these aren't it. All right. She's got impact to help, like I said, to help the team knock foes down, stagger them. She's got one strength boosting augment. I don't go overboard on it. She's got aggression, just in case she gets grabbed or something. Stability, I need her on her feet all the time. I can't have her getting buffeted back by dragons and shit. Carrying capacity, just like everybody else, and reduce stamina consumption because, you know, as everybody knows, Dragon's Maw sucks the stamina right out of your characters. All right. Her weight is just at the point to where I didn't want a huge character, a huge pawn, but her height and weight is just at the point to where she's in the heavyweight category, I think, or something like that. So she's hard to push around. She's as big as you can be without being like just bigger than you have to be. All right. She's got a pretty good bestiary. She's not perfect. As you can see, she's got a lot of them, but they're not perfect. Keto Nugget, I think, has most of them. I think he's got one that's not maxed out. Yeah. An unfamiliar foe. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And R1's the same way, I think. She may have one or two. She got the dragon. So she just hasn't been taken to clear the game more than a couple of times, which we could easily remedy. She went one time with me. My character skills. Clout for actually I got to change that one. We'll change that when we get to the fort up there. Sinew like everybody else. Yeah, there's no difference here. My character has to pull her weight too. Impact. There's it. For knockdown. You know, morbidity. I like to use a rusted bow sometimes. That helps slow them down faster. Trajectory. I don't know if that's really needed or not, but it does seem to help with my favorite skill here. Leg strength, just, you know, so it helps her. It helps her even carry more stuff, to be honest. Lindsay sight. This thing can shoot enemies from like clear across the screen. That's why I was saying, like, my character is basically like a ranger. So
Seems a fair place to rest.
and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
There are some who... But you... What can I do you for? You seem tired, cousin. Come rest a moment. So be it.
See, nobody rented my pawn. I see.
Seems these rooms are frequented by peddlers and the like.
Okay, Arwen. And that's it for today. I know that was a lot of information, a lot of boring crap. But when we come back, we're going to go down in the well. And I'm going to start showing you how these guys perform together. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.